Metapopulation refers to a network. It really is a network concept, a network of individual or local populations which live in particular places in the physical world. And this network has certain properties which can't be understood by studying the individual populations. We have to study the entity, the network as such. And so we are interested in the ecological consequences of this network structure, how the network maintains genetic variation, what are the evolutionary consequences of species occupying a network of habitat patches. Human land use is, as we all know, is having a huge impact on our environment. And one consequence is that the amount of natural habitat for most populations and species is decreasing. At the same time, the degree of fragmentation of the remaining habitat is becoming more and more. The degree of fragmentation is increasing. And therefore, any consequences of habitat fragmentation, as I said, in terms of the demography of populations, in terms of the genetic composition, evolution, all these consequences will be modified by increasing fragmentation. And oftentimes, sadly, the consequences for the viability of populations are negative. Habitat loss and fragmentation really is the main cause of why we have this biodiversity crisis, rapidly declining biodiversity all over the world. Well, I'm really an ecologist myself, but in our research group we have over the past several years we have incorporated population genetic and indeed genomic research in our research program. We have sequenced the full genome of our main study species, which is a species of butterfly. This was only the third butterfly species in the world whose full genome has been sequenced, and this now gives us an opportunity to try to understand at the molecular level many of the processes, many of the phenomena that so far we have been studying at the ecological level. Now, obviously, these kinds of opportunities they promise a deeper understanding of what is actually happening in the natural populations. For instance, in terms of the evolutionary dynamics. I have two main new interest topics which I've been studying over the past several years with students and colleagues. One is concerned with fast evolutionary dynamics. Many researchers, including us, have found that oftentimes the evolutionary dynamics in natural populations, they are so fast that they interact with ecological or demographic dynamics. And this interaction, it will lead to situations which couldn't be anticipated before without considering the interaction. The second new topic is somewhat different. I have become interested in the dynamics of microbial populations that occupy our own bodies, our gut, our skin, our respiratory tract, for which microbes, we humans, we kind of represent a highly fragmented or patchy population. And so the questions here relate to the function of the microbial populations in our body, to the functioning of our immune system, and on the other hand, in the other direction, as it were, we are interested in the influence of environmental biodiversity, environmental microbial populations on the microbial populations in our body. So here we have kind of two biodiversities, as it were, one inside the other. We have the innermost biodiversity, which is very close to our bodies, which is surrounded by then the environmental biodiversity, and to me, the fascinating question is questions relate to the interactions between these two layers of biodiversity and how do they then interact with our own immune system.